And only GM, and today I just want to make a video and we're going to discuss which game is better, Tekken 7 or Tekken 8. I see a lot of content creators, a lot of players in general are saying they really dislike Tekken 8 and they like Tekken 7 better, and a lot of people are just tired about Tekken 8. So we're going to talk about Tekken 7 and what it brought to the table as a game, and we're also going to talk about Tekken 8 and the system in Tekken 8 and whatnot. So first of all, in Tekken 7, obviously there was 2D characters like Akuma, Geese, Eliza. So that brought a whole different meta to the game. And of course those characters had meter and a lot of cheap stuff like low forward into super and all kinds of crazy like that crouch jab and the full combo, so you have to worry about that. Plus in Tekken 7 there was also rage drives in the game, right? So every character had a different rage drive when they were in rage, and a lot of them were like really good. Like some of them were plus into full combos, some of them were mix-ups you could use. So it was like that. And also of course the backdash and movement was a bit better in Tekken 7. But the thing with Tekken 7 is that I feel is like when it comes to like certain, it was just a big counter hit fest. Like you kind of just turtle a lot and just fish for counter hits, because every character had counter hits, and of course get up kicks led into full combos, and there was a lot of nonsense and that people forgot about Tekken 7, especially the big non-wall stages where people would just play non-wall stages and just turtle like crazy and just kind of let the match run when they play characters like Kunimitsu and Safina that had like super advanced movement and stuff like that. So it made the game really turtle heavy, a lot of spamming, a lot of spamming counter hits, a lot of like keep out. So it was a lot of annoying stuff like that in that game that you had to deal with. I feel like people don't remember that. The get up kicks and the full combos and the counter hit spamming and a lot of safe options. So people the whole game would just scramble back and forth till they hit a counter hit pretty much. And of course you had Akuma low forward into super, and also I feel like armor moves in Tekken 7, obviously the only way to really deal with them in that game was to go low, to go over it, right? So that's one thing about Tekken 7. And I feel like balance wise in Tekken 7, you have to make a lot of hard reads in situations. Of course it was less mix up stuff because there was no heat dash and stuff like that, but in Tekken 7 you obviously had to really hard read like that, because the movement was all right, but there wasn't a lot of stuff to get people off of you besides trying to move out of stuff, because you can't counter hit like forever, you know what I'm saying? Like armor moves are obviously stronger in Tekken 8 because you could do it goes into heat dash after the armor move or whatnot. But like I feel like Tekken 7 was really unbalanced, especially with the 2D, and it was kind of one of those things is like the game forced, people don't remember, like Tekken 7, even though it had good movement, it forced you to take a lot of risks and do a lot of 50-50s all the time, because the movement still wasn't as good as Tag 2 or older Tekken games like that. So you see like me and Shadow, we scrambling back and forth a lot still in this game, because you kind of have to, that you only could turtle for so long. You got to be in people's faces, and the game forced you, at least with Lee Chalan, it forced you to be mad aggressive even though everything was like negative and he had no plus. So it's a lot of hard reads and stuff. I don't really miss it too much, all the hard reads you got to do when it came to back and forth. And I don't know, it felt like the game, especially playing with Lee, it felt a lot more limited in the options that I can do to deal with people. It just felt limited. Like I was just kind of forced to either swing back and go for a hard read counter hit, or just block. There wasn't much I can do besides those two things. And then of course in high level it was just kind of like people playing a character like Safina, Akuma, or Kunimitsu, and they just turtle you all day and just play keep out, turtle move, keep out, and they kind of just like cheese you to death like that just by doing that. So people don't remember how annoying it was dealing with people that just turtle you all day, like turtle you like crazy and just go ham with the turtling. Of course, like I said, like you saw that he just sidewalked me and launched me. Sidestep obviously was better. You know what I'm saying? Even though you could still step in Tekken 8. But in this game, as you can see, I'm making a lot more hard reads, especially with Lee. Lee, like he doesn't really have no plus. Everything is negative. He's really punishable in this game. You kind of forced to just do slide mix-ups all day. You know, there's not much mind games to Lee in this game. So that's why I really didn't enjoy Tekken 7, because I felt the mind games with Lee was really, really limited. There wasn't much that I can do besides try to go for a counter hit, make a hard read, because it was nothing else. He, like, his whole game, like, he doesn't have a lot of counter hit setups. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of like plus frame stuff. The options just felt really limited in Tekken 7. Had to just make hard reads and kind of go in all the time. And then the high level, obviously, was just spamming top tiers and stuff like that. And then the rage drives was like one of the most annoying things, because people's rage drives are too good. And then the get up kicks were way too cheap. You get hit by that joint one time, you eat a full combo. Like, there was a lot of annoying stuff about this game. So in general, I don't think Tekken 7 is better than Tekken 8. I think people are just upset by Tekken 8 because Tekken 8 forces you, obviously, with the heat stuff, forces you to mix up. And there's a lot more options, so you obviously have to, like, really think a lot more in Tekken 8 with everything you got to deal with. Tekken 7 is really simple. It just kind of just, you know, keep out, space, turtle, 50 turtle, space, counter hit. It's a lot easier to deal with stuff. Now in Tekken 8, there's way more stuff to do, right? Way more stuff to do. And I feel like you could poke a lot better in Tekken 8 too, because like they gave everything so much more plus frames. So I feel like Tekken 8 is more ground game orientated than Tekken 7. Tekken 7 just kind of just fishing for counter hits. So it kind of, like, all the plus frames and the heat stuff, it forces you to have a really good ground game in Tekken 8. In this game, like I said, you could just keep fishing for counter hits because everybody has something that leads into a full combo when you do a counter hit. So it makes the game really random when it comes to scrambling. Unless you play like, you know, Kunimitsu, like Arslan used to do, he should just turtle and space you out all day. The same thing he used to do with Safina. Safina, he used to just play keep out and turtle you all day too. So it was just like a big turtle fest, right? So let's look at Tekken 8 right now, right? Let's look at some Tekken 8 matches, right? So in Tekken 8, obviously, you know, you have this chip damage, which is not in Tekken 7. So in general, in Tekken 8, with the chip damage stuff, it makes it so, like, if you have a character that is not good at opening people up, like Lee wasn't really good at opening people up in Tekken 7, the chip damage helps Lee Chalan be able to help him open stuff up. So you have an extra mind game to open somebody up defensively just because of chip damage. I know a lot of people don't like chip damage, but it's an extra mind game. It makes you think a lot more than just doing the common, you know, 50, like in pretty much like in Tekken 7. Tekken 7 was basically the mind game was just 50, mash counter hit 50. You know what I'm saying? In this game, you have to think a bit more. You know what I'm saying? Okay, like with Lee, I have an extra mind game. It makes the character better. Like, Lee is not really good at opening people up, but, you know, the whole chip damage stuff makes it a lot better for him to open somebody up, right? And also all the added plus frames also make it so he could do way more setups and way more counter hit stuff that buffs up his game. But I do feel in general, like the way this game is, like the movement isn't that good, but you can still move. It forces you to have like a really good ground game up close. And also there's a lot of, like, people complain about armor moves into heat and stuff, but there's a lot of ways to beat it out. Like, armor moves don't track, so you can sidewalk them. You could do throws to deal with armor moves now. You can also do lows that are fast. Anything faster than 16 frames to deal with armor moves, right? And of course, you can do an armor move to beat out random heat smashes. And you could do throws to beat out heat smashes too. So there's so much options and so much thinking in this game. That's why I like this game a lot more than Tekken 8, than Tekken 7. I mean, there's a lot of thinking involved in this game in high level that makes you really think. Especially since you got a heat meter, you know, there's a lot of thinking involved when you use it. Like the property changes when you in heat. You always cause chip damage when you in heat too. So I just like that I have to think more when I play this game, and I have more options to play in neutral. I just think it's a much better game to play in neutral than Tekken 7 was, because Tekken 7 was just turtle, mash counter hits all day, do random get up kicks, turtle, 50, pick 2D character, low short into super, and it was just a lot of nonsense. This is the options in this game, and the you know, being able to think. I know some people you could just, like, you know, kind of cheese people out, but I feel like once people really learn how to play Tekken 8, you'll open your mind and be like, yo, this game has a lot of options, and there's a lot of ways to deal with different things in this game to make it more you know, more solid and high level. I think people are just stuck on the cheap stuff in this game. And you know, because there's a lot of people that's hard struck in Tekken 8, and the reason why is because you have to think a lot more in Tekken 8. There's way more options in Tekken 8. It's not like in Tekken 7, like I said, that you could just spam counter hits all day in Turtle and just do 50-50s here and there and make hard reads all day. In this game, like, there's literally an option to deal with everything in this game. So you guys have to constantly think about what you're going to do or when you're going to do it. Just because there's literally a hole for every single situation. Every single situation. Like I said, like you know, heat. You could throw low out of it. You could bait it, sidewalk it. Then, of course, there's punch parries and stuff, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand why people was mad. Because, you know, some characters and most characters in the game, like, when they hit you with a heat thing, you have to do, like, a full 50-50. You have to hold a 50-50, right? I think that's better than the Tekken 7 joint, where somebody just does a raw 50-50 and you just gotta guess all the time, and then you gotta guess eating a get up kick that leads to half-life, and then after that you gotta guess a raw counter hit that take your whole bar. In this game, there's not too many counter hits like in Tekken 7, where you constantly have to just be careful, like going back and forth and playing neutral. You have to be really careful with neutral in Tekken 7 because of get up kicks and like all the counter hits that everybody has. Like, people have way too many counter hits in the game. In this game, you could play just offensive and be way more loose in Tekken 8. And obviously, when you get hit with a mix up with heat, like, it's not just a constant mix up. It's kind of just like one mix up and stuff. And of course, there's ways to deal with it. You can armor out of it. You can sidewalk it in certain distances. So it's not as bad as what people think. Because the way people talk is like you have to eat a 50-50 for like 10 seconds straight. You know, it's not really like that. I just feel way more comfortable playing neutral in this game just because there's way more neutral options. And, you know, the chip damage and the spacing and stuff like that make it a lot more entertaining for me. Like I said, I can understand why people don't like this game. People are not used to, you know, having to actually block and eat mix-ups. Because like I said, in Tekken 7, you could just turtle all day on a non-wall stage, or you could just mash counter hits back. You know, when somebody's trying to do stuff to you, or mash get-up kicks and get free combos. So now, like, this game exposes people's defense, and they got to think a little bit more when they play, especially when somebody really knows your character. In this game, like I said, there's so much options to deal with stuff that it's kind of easy to download a character and really exploit a character's weaknesses. Compared, you know, in Tekken 7, where it was really, really hard to expose a character's weaknesses. In this game, like, even with the practice mode, it makes it a lot like you could literally just watch your replays and download anybody, right? So that's just my opinion. I think people just need to adapt to this game a lot more and realize this is not Tekken 7. This game got chip damage. You gotta know how to use chip. You gotta know how to use heat. You gotta think a lot more when you press buttons and when you play defense. So people just gotta get used to the game. And, you know, I know Heihachi's coming out and people don't like that he's also a big 50-50 character and guard breaks and all of that and mix-ups, just like everybody else. But that's just the way they want Tekken 8 to be. They want Tekken 8 to be, you know, they want to make you hold mix-ups a lot more, you know. So it, like I said, man, it depends what you like. If you like a game where you could just turtle and throw out counter hits 24/7 and hopefully it'll work, then Tekken 7 might be better for you. But if you like a game that you have to constantly be active, you know what I'm saying, and be a lot smarter and neutral when it comes to fighting straight up, then Tekken 8 might be for you. But I just think people just need to adapt to Tekken 8 and just step their game up. Because in my opinion, I like this game a lot more than Tekken 7. I think it's a way better game. You know, skill-wise, it depends. You know, if you're better at turtling and spacing, you know, Tekken 7 might be better for you. But, you know, in general, I like this game more. I feel like I said earlier, I could play fundamentals better. I could play keep out better. I could really beat people up fundamentally by just being good at Tekken. So, yeah, that's my opinion on the whole Tekken 7 versus Tekken 8 debate. You know, if you don't want to play Tekken 8 no more, don't play it. Go back and play Tekken 7 or something. You know, nobody's going to play with you. You could play by yourself if that's what you like doing, playing by yourself. But, yeah, man, like, I'm not going to be one of the creators to hate on Tekken 8. Tekken 8 has been, you know, good to me. You know what I'm saying? It's been fun playing this game. I really like Lee Cha-Lan in this game. And I can't wait to see what they do with Lee and other characters in the next season. I also like that, you know, you don't die for getting low parried in this game. That's another thing about Tekken 7. Tekken 7, you get low parried, you die. So that, like I said, man, in Tekken 7, you die for low parry, getting low parry, you die for eating a get up kick, like all types of random stuff like that. One of the things one of the problems I have with Tekken 8 that I'll say is I wish get up kicks were punishable. I definitely wish get up kicks were punishable for sure. Them joints should be punishable. And another thing I don't like that when you trade armor moves with somebody, or when the armor move trades with something, the armor move becomes safe on block. I think it should still be unsafe when you trade with somebody. But that's literally the only things I really don't like about this game. And of course, there's some balancing issues like Dragunov and Yoshimitsu and stuff like that are a bit too strong. But I think, you know, Namco eventually nerf all that stuff. So. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and tell me what game you like better. Do you like Tekken 7 better? Do you like Tekken 8? And do you think everybody complaining about this game is they in the right with it? So let me know what you think in the comments. So thanks for watching. Be sure to check out fightinggm_Tekken is the Twitch, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace out and take care. Latest.